Preface. In an era overflowing with information, it's often difficult to discern which methods, techniques, and principles can truly transform our lives. This book endeavors to bridge that gap, offering a distilled collection of time-tested techniques and novel concepts designed to ignite the spark of human potential. This is not just an ordinary self-help book. It's a voyage into the intricate pathways of the human psyche, a manual to harness the raw power of the mind, and a guide to channeling it towards excellence. The chapters that follow are not merely theoretical musings but are grounded in practicality, replete with real-life examples to underline their efficacy. For choosing this book amongst the myriad options available, a heartfelt thank you is in order. It's a humble attempt to bring charity, mastery, and growth into the lives of its listeners. The journey of compiling and presenting these strategies has been enlightening, and it's hoped that the journey of listening to them will be equally transformative. If any chapter resonates or aids in personal or professional advancement, a few kind words would be much appreciated. A positive review not only uplifts the spirits but also helps others on the path to self-discovery to find this resource. Zach F. Chapter 1. Understanding the Power of Manipulation. Manipulation at its core is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or ill, to build or to break. To some, the very word brings up images of deceit, control, or even harm. But here lies an overlooked truth. Manipulation, when directed inward and used ethically, has the potential to bring about profound personal growth. Let's take a moment to understand what manipulation really means. In a broad sense, manipulation is about changing something to achieve a desired outcome. Think of a sculptor working on a piece of clay. They apply pressure, shape it, and mold it until it becomes a beautiful statue. That's manipulation. But in this case, it's a positive and creative force. When it comes to the mind, the same practice applies. The human mind is malleable, just like that piece of clay. It can be shaped, influenced, and trained to achieve various outcomes. Ethical manipulation of the mind is not about deceit or control over others, but about mastery over oneself. It's about shaping thoughts, emotions, and habits to foster growth and bring about a brighter future. Consider a simple example. Jane always believed she was bad at math. This belief came from a single poor grade she received in 5th grade. Since then, she shied away from numbers, convinced of her own inability. However, one day Jane decided to challenge this belief. Instead of telling herself she was bad at math, she started telling herself she simply needed more practice. She began to tackle math problems every day. Slowly, she started improving. By manipulating her own belief about herself, she turned a perceived weakness into a strength. Just as Jane reshaped her beliefs, so can others harness the power of manipulation for self-improvement. But it's vital to understand the boundaries of ethical manipulation. Ethical manipulation focuses on the self. It's about understanding personal weaknesses, strengths, beliefs, and behaviors, and then tweaking them for the better. It's not about controlling or influencing others. It's about self-mastery. For ethical manipulation to be effective, it must be based on honesty. This means acknowledging personal flaws without judgment and recognizing areas for improvement. It's not about creating a false sense of self or pretending to be someone else. Instead, it's about optimizing the existing self. For instance, consider someone who tends to procrastinate. They often delay tasks until the last minute and then rush to complete them. This behavior leads to stress and subpar work. Through ethical manipulation, this individual could understand the root cause of their procrastination. Maybe it's fear of failure or a habit developed during school days. By understanding the cause, they can work on changing the behavior. Maybe they start by breaking tasks into smaller steps or setting earlier deadlines for themselves. Over time, this manipulation can lead to better work habits and less stress. But it's essential to remember that change doesn't happen overnight. Just like the sculptor who must mold the clay repeatedly to get the desired shape, so must individuals work consistently to see results. It's a process of trial and error, of understanding what works and what doesn't. In the grand scheme of things, ethical manipulation is a path to empowerment. It's a realization that one is not just a product of circumstances but can be an architect of their own fate. By taking charge of personal beliefs, emotions, and behaviors, one can direct their journey towards growth and greatness. Just as the sculptor sees potential in a lump of clay, so should individuals see potential in themselves. And with the right manipulation, that potential can be realized. In conclusion, manipulation is a powerful tool. But like any tool, its impact depends on how it's used. Directed inward and used ethically, it can be a force for tremendous positive change. It can help transform beliefs, shape behaviors, and guide individuals towards a future filled with growth and achievement. By understanding and harnessing this power, one can pave the way for a journey of self-improvement and greatness. Chapter 2. The Self-Dialogue Shift. Every person carries with them a constant companion, their inner voice. This voice is an ongoing commentary on life, a stream of thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that shape how a person sees themselves and the world around them. This inner narrative plays a powerful role in influencing actions, reactions, and decisions. For better or worse, it's the story told to oneself, about oneself. The problem arises when this narrative is negative. Imagine a person trying to learn how to ride a bicycle. If their inner voice keeps saying, "It's too hard, I'll never get this right," the chances of them giving up are high. On the other hand, if the voice says, "It's tough, but I'll get there with practice," they're more likely to persevere and eventually succeed. Changing this inner narrative, shifting the self-dialogue from negative to positive, can have profound effects on personal growth and potential. Think about Sam. From a young age, Sam was told he was clumsy. He believed this narrative, and it became part of his self-dialogue. Every time he dropped something or tripped, he'd think, "There I go again, being my usual clumsy self." This belief held him back in many areas of life, especially sports. He was too scared to try for fear of confirming his clumsiness. However, a shift happened when Sam joined a dance class on a whim. Initially, his self-dialogue was the same. He'd miss a step and immediately think of his natural clumsiness. But as classes went on, his instructor began to give him positive feedback, noting that he had good rhythm and coordination. Slowly, Sam started to question his old belief. He began to replace "I'm so clumsy" with "I just need more practice," or "everyone makes mistakes sometimes." Over time, not only did Sam become a competitive dancer, but his new self-dialogue also began to influence other areas of his life. He tried out for sports he'd never considered before and found he was pretty good at some of them. The shift in his narrative opened up a world of possibilities. So, how does one begin this process of shifting their self-dialogue? The first step is awareness. It's vital to recognize and pay attention to that inner voice. What stories are being told? Are they helpful or harmful? Do they push towards goals or hold back? Once this awareness is established, challenge those negative narratives. Ask questions like, "Is this really true?" Or, "Is there evidence to support this belief?" Once, upon reflection, many will find their self-dialogue is based on outdated beliefs or isolated incidents that don't define their entire being. Next, replace the negative with the positive. For every negative statement recognized, come up with a counter-positive statement. For instance, if the thought is, "I'm not smart enough," counter it with, "I have the capacity to learn and grow." Practice is essential. Just as a muscle needs repeated exercise to grow stronger, the mind needs consistent practice to cement a new narrative. Every time a negative thought creeps in, recognize it, challenge it, and replace it. To help with this process, it might be beneficial to keep a journal. Write down negative thoughts and beliefs and then counter them with positive ones. Over time, this practice can help reinforce the new narrative. Consider the story of Lisa, a young writer. She had a strong desire to write a novel, but her self-dialogue was filled with doubt. Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "no one will want to read what I write" plagued her. She decided to challenge this narrative. Every time she had a negative thought, she'd write it down and then counter it with a positive one. Over time, her journal became a testament to her changing self-dialogue. It was filled with statements like, "Every writer starts somewhere," and "I write because I love it, not for others." Eventually, she wrote that novel, and it was a reflection of her newfound confidence and belief in herself. The power of self-dialogue cannot be overstated. It's the story of one's life, narrated by oneself. By becoming aware of this narrative, challenging it, and replacing negativity with positivity, anyone can shift their trajectory. This shift can open doors, break barriers, and pave the way for growth and greatness. The pen is in the hand. It's time to rewrite the story. Chapter 3. Mastering Emotional Intelligence. Emotions color experiences, drive actions, and often determine success or failure in various ventures. Therefore, understanding and managing these emotions becomes paramount for anyone seeking personal growth. This understanding and management of emotions is often termed as emotional intelligence. At its core, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage not only personal emotions but also the emotions of others. It's about being tuned into the emotional channel of the world, picking up on subtle cues, and navigating situations with both empathy and self-control. Take Alex, for example. Alex worked in a team where tensions often ran high due to tight deadlines. While others would frequently get flustered or upset, Alex had a knack for staying calm. He could pick up on his teammates' frustrations and always knew the right thing to say to ease the situation. He wasn't just avoiding conflict. He was reading emotions, understanding them, and responding in a way that benefited everyone. This is emotional intelligence in action. So, why is mastering emotional intelligence crucial for personal growth? Firstly, emotions play a role in nearly every decision made. When someone is aware of their emotions and can manage them, they're better equipped to make sound decisions. Acting out of anger, for instance, often leads to regret. But recognizing that anger, understanding its source, and choosing how to respond can alter the course of events in a more positive direction. Secondly, relationships, both personal and professional, thrive on emotional intelligence. Understanding and respecting the emotions of others leads to stronger, more meaningful connections. It's the bridge that links people together, allowing for deeper communication and cooperation. How then does one go about mastering emotional intelligence? Self-awareness is the starting point. Before understanding others, one must first understand oneself. This means being in tune with personal emotions, recognizing them as they arise, and understanding their causes. It's about questioning things like, "Why am I feeling this way?" Or, "What triggered this emotion?" For instance, imagine Jamie, who noticed she'd get irritated every time her colleague Mark spoke up in meetings. Instead of brushing the feeling aside, she dived into it. She realized it wasn't Mark's ideas that bothered her, but his tone, which reminded her of a school bully from her past. By recognizing and understanding this emotion, Jamie was better equipped to manage her reactions in future meetings. After self-awareness comes self-regulation. It's one thing to recognize an emotion and another to decide how to act on it. Self-regulation is about taking a moment before reacting. It's considering the best course of action rather than being swept away by the initial emotional response. There's also a need to cultivate empathy. Empathy is the ability to put oneself in another's shoes, to feel what they feel. It's a step beyond just recognizing someone else's emotions. It's genuinely understanding them. When someone can empathize with others, they can better navigate social situations, offer support, and build stronger relationships. For instance, consider Ryan, who saw his friend Ben looking downcast. Instead of dismissing it or making a lighthearted comment, Ryan approached Ben, asked him how he felt, and genuinely listened. By empathizing with Ben's situation, Ryan was not only able to offer comfort, but also strengthen their bond. Lastly, mastering emotional intelligence requires social skills. These are the tools that allow someone to interact harmoniously with others. It's about effective communication, conflict resolution, and building bonds. It's worth noting that mastering emotional intelligence is not about suppressing emotions. Emotions are natural and valuable. They offer insights into the world and the self. Instead, it's about harnessing them, guiding them in ways that lead to positive outcomes. Emotions are like a river. They can be calm and serene, or wild and tumultuous. Without understanding and management, this river can overflow, causing chaos. But with emotional intelligence, it can be channeled, directed, and harnessed for personal growth. The journey to mastering emotional intelligence is a journey to a more balanced, understanding, and successful self. Chapter 4. The Art of Visualization. Every intention, every achievement, every leap forward began as a thought. These thoughts, when paired with intentions and imagination, can become vivid images that guide actions and decisions. This process, known as visualization, is an art that has been practiced for centuries by those aiming for greatness. Visualization is more than mere daydreaming. It's an intentional act of crafting and molding the future by creating a clear and detailed mental image of a desired outcome or goal. It's about experiencing the future while still in the present. Consider the story of Alicia, a young athlete who dreams of winning a gold medal in the Olympics. Every day, as part of her training routine, she would close her eyes and imagine herself at the Olympic Stadium. She could hear the roar of the crowd, feel the weight of the medal around her neck, and see the proud smiles of her family in the stands. This vivid image kept her motivated, pushed her limits, and over time played a crucial role in her achieving that very dream. So what makes visualization such a potent tool? Firstly, the brain has a unique characteristic. It often struggles to distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. When an event is visualized in detail, the brain reacts as if it's happening in reality. This means that the feelings, the emotions, and even some physical reactions experienced during visualization can almost be as intense as experiencing the actual event. This reaction has two profound effects. 1. Preparation. Visualization prepares the mind and body for the real event. If someone consistently visualizes themselves giving a successful presentation, for example, when the time comes to deliver it, they've already been there many times in their mind. This familiarity reduces anxiety and boosts confidence. 2. Motivation. Creating a clear and compelling image of the future provides a powerful incentive. It becomes a beacon, guiding actions and decisions in the direction of that desired future. For effective visualization, clarity is essential. It's not enough to have a vague image. The more detailed and precise the visualization, the more potent its effects. Think of Michael, an aspiring musician. Instead of merely imagining himself playing music, he visualized every detail. He could see the type of venue, the people in the crowd, the lights, and even the clothes he was wearing. He could hear the specific songs he was playing and feel the emotions they evoked. This detailed visualization not only motivated him but also gave him direction. He knew exactly what he wanted and could tailor his efforts towards that vision. However, visualization isn't just about seeing. It engages all the senses. It's about feeling the emotions, hearing the sounds, and even smelling the scents associated with the imagined scenario. Engaging multiple senses makes the visualization more vivid and impactful. Moreover, consistency is key. Just like any other skill or art, the power of visualization grows with practice. The more frequently and regularly it's practiced, the clearer and more influential the visualizations become. It's also worth noting that while visualization is a powerful tool, it's not a replacement for action. It's a complement to it. Visualization sets the stage, provides the motivation, and prepares the mind and body. But to bring the vision to reality, tangible steps and efforts are necessary. The future, while uncertain, is moldable. With the art of visualization, one can craft and shape the trajectory of life. Through intentional imagination, the mind can be trained, motivated, and prepared to turn dreams into reality. Visualization isn't just about seeing the future, it's about creating it. Chapter 5. Hacking the Habit Loop. In life, habits play a leading role. These automatic actions and reactions shape days, influence choices, and over time, mold destinies. While some habits propel individuals towards success, others can hold them back. Hence, understanding the inner workings of habits becomes vital for anyone aiming to harness their full potential. Habits aren't random. They follow a predictable cycle, often referred to as the habit loop. This loop consists of 3 stages: the cue, the routine, and the reward. To begin, there's the cue. It's the trigger that initiates the habit loop. Cues can be external, like a ringing phone signaling an answer, or internal, like a feeling of boredom leading to snacking. These cues are signals to the brain to start a particular routine. Following the cues comes the routine. This is the action or behavior associated with the habit. When the phone rings, the routine might be picking it up. When feeling bored, the routine could be opening the fridge. It's the core action of the habit loop. Finally, there's the reward. It's the positive outcome or feeling resulting from the routine. Answering the phone may lead to a pleasant conversation, a reward for the action. Eating a snack might alleviate boredom, providing a sense of satisfaction. Consider the case of Sam, who, every afternoon found himself munching on cookies. The cue was the afternoon slump, that period after lunch where energy levels dip. The routine was eating cookies, and the reward was the sugar rush and the temporary lift in mood. This loop kept repeating itself daily, leading to weight gain and health concerns for Sam. So how can the knowledge of the habit loop be leveraged for positive change? The first step is awareness. Before a habit can be changed, it must be recognized. It's about identifying the cues, routines, and rewards in existing habits. Sam, for example, needed to realize that his afternoon slump was leading him to seek out sugary treats. Once a habit is identified, the next step is dissection. This involves breaking down the habit loop and analyzing each part. What is the cue? Why does this particular routine follow the cue? What reward is being sought? By understanding these elements, strategies can be formed to modify or replace the habit. With this understanding, the third step is substitution. The most effective way to change a habit isn't to eliminate it, but to replace it. The cue often remains the same. As it's hard to change triggers, especially if they're external. The routine, however, can be swapped. Instead of reaching for cookies, Sam could choose to take a short walk or have a cup of green tea. The key is to find a new routine that offers a similar reward. In this case, the reward is a break from the afternoon monotony and a boost in energy. Consistency is the final piece of the puzzle. Changing habits is challenging, and there will be times of regression. But with continued effort and understanding of the habit loop, old patterns can be replaced with new, more beneficial ones. One crucial thing to remember is that not all habits need to be changed. Many habits are beneficial. The goal isn't to eliminate habits, but to ensure they align with desired outcomes and goals. In the grand scheme of personal growth, habits act as the building blocks. Each habit, no matter how small, contributes to the larger structure of life. By hacking the habit loop, understanding its components, and leveraging this knowledge, one can construct a life of intention, purpose, and greatness. Whether looking to cultivate new habits or change existing ones, the cue, routine, reward cycle offers a roadmap to success. Chapter 6. Mindful Meditation, the Gateway to Presence. Mindful meditation, at its core, is about observation without judgment. It's the art of anchoring the mind to the current moment, experiencing it fully without letting it get colored by biases or past experiences. Consider the story of Nina, a student overwhelmed by the stresses of school and life. Her days were consumed with worries about upcoming tests, regrets over past mistakes, and anxieties about the future. One day, a teacher introduced her to the practice of mindful meditation. Nina learned to sit quietly, focusing on her breath and letting her thoughts flow without getting attached to them. Over time, she found that she could concentrate better. Her worries seemed less daunting, and she felt more connected to the world around her. So, why does mindful meditation have such a profound impact? Firstly, the practice brings about a heightened sense of self-awareness. By focusing on the breath or other focal points, one becomes acutely aware of the internal landscape of the mind. Thoughts are noticed, but instead of reacting to them, they are simply observed. This non-reactive observation allows for a deeper understanding of one's thought patterns, emotions, and reactions. Secondly, mindful meditation enhances focus. In a world riddled with distractions, maintaining concentration can be challenging. However, the practice of returning one's attention to the breath or a chosen anchor again and again hones the skill of focus. Just like a muscle strengthens with exercise, the mind's ability to concentrate improves with consistent meditation. Additionally, this form of meditation cultivates a sense of equanimity. Life is filled with ups and downs, joys and sorrows. By practicing non-judgmental observation, one learns to approach all experiences with a balanced mind. Rather than getting overly excited by positives or overly dejected by negatives, a steady, even-tempered response is nurtured. To illustrate this, think of a pond. When stones, thoughts, or experiences are thrown into it, ripples are created. But with time, the pond returns to its calm state. Similarly, the mind with regular mindful meditation can learn to return to a state of calm and balance, no matter the disturbances. To embark on the journey of mindful meditation, no elaborate preparations are needed. It can be as simple as finding a quiet spot, sitting comfortably, closing the eyes, and turning the attention inward. The breath serves as a convenient anchor. As one inhales and exhales, the focus remains on the sensation of the breath entering and leaving the body. Thoughts will invariably arise, but the trick is not to chase them or push them away. Simply notice them and gently return the attention to the breath. In essence, mindful meditation is a gift, a tool that unlocks the door to the present moment. It's a gateway to a life lived fully. where each moment is experienced deeply and the richness of now is truly appreciated. In the vast expanse of time, the present is all there truly is. By harnessing the power of mindful meditation, one not only enhances focus and self-awareness, but also learns to live in the only time that truly matters, the present. Chapter 7. Unlocking the Subconscious. To truly master the mind and achieve greatness, it becomes imperative to understand and harness the power of the subconscious. Picture an iceberg. The visual portion above the water represents conscious thought and immediate awareness. However, the larger, submerged part represents the subconscious. While it's hidden from direct view, its sheer size means it has significant impact on the entire iceberg's direction and stability. Take, for example, Leo. Outwardly, he was a successful businessman with everything seemingly going for him. Yet, he often felt unfulfilled and restless. Despite not understanding why he felt this way, the answer lay deep within his subconscious. As a child, he had overheard conversations about how wealth didn't bring happiness. This idea embedded in his subconscious, influencing his feelings about his achievements, even if he wasn't consciously aware of it. The subconscious mind acts as a storehouse for past experiences, lessons learned, beliefs acquired, and traumas endured. It is always on, even when sleeping, and works tirelessly to process information, find patterns, and make sense of the world. So how can one delve into the subconscious and use it as a tool for growth? The first step is reflection. By setting aside quiet moments to ponder, one can start tuning into the underlying feelings, beliefs, and desires. Journaling can be an effective tool for this, allowing thoughts and feelings to flow freely onto paper, revealing insights that might not be apparent in the rush of daily life. Dream analysis offers another window into the subconscious. Dreams often serve as a playground for the subconscious to explore unresolved issues, desires, and fears. By recalling and interpreting dreams, insights into the underlying drives and blockages can be uncovered. Furthermore, hypnotherapy has gained popularity as a means to directly communicate with the subconscious. By inducing a state of deep relaxation, hypnotherapists can bypass the conscious mind and access the subconscious. This technique can be used to uncover deep-seated beliefs or even implant new positive affirmations. Another method is visualization. By creating vivid mental images, it is possible to communicate with the subconscious in its own language. If someone wishes to gain confidence, for instance, they can visualize themselves standing tall, speaking clearly, and exuding confidence. Over time, these images can influence the subconscious, which in turn influences behavior in the real world. The subconscious is also highly receptive to affirmations. These are positive statements that, when repeated, can reshape beliefs and attitudes. For instance, instead of harboring a belief that I am not good enough, which may reside in the subconscious due to past experiences, one can repeatedly affirm I am capable and worthy. Over time, this can overwrite the old belief. Understanding and leveraging the subconscious is not a quick fix. It's a journey requiring patience, dedication, and often a lot of introspection. However, the rewards are profound. By aligning the subconscious with conscious desires and goals, it becomes a powerful ally. Instead of unknowingly working against one's aims due to hidden fears or beliefs, the subconscious can be harnessed to propel forward, ensuring that actions, feelings, and desires are in harmony. In the quest for greatness, while skills, knowledge, and external factors play a role, true mastery begins within. And within the mind, the subconscious holds the key. By unlocking its secrets and tapping into its power, one can not only understand the deeper aspects of oneself, but also harness them for unparalleled growth and success. Chapter 8. The Power of Positive Affirmations. Words possess power. They shape thoughts, mold perceptions, and influence actions. But what if there was a way to intentionally select and repeat words that would lead to desired changes within and around oneself? This transformative method exists, and it's known as the practice of positive affirmations. At the heart of an affirmation is a simple yet profound idea. By consciously choosing, repeating, and believing in a positive statement, one can bring about positive changes in their feelings, habits, and reality. To better understand this, consider Sarah. She grew up hearing statements like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," and "We're not the kind who get lucky in life." Unknowingly, these statements became part of her belief system, leading her to be wary of financial opportunities and generally pessimistic. However, when she learned about positive affirmations, she began repeating to herself, "I am deserving of abundance," and "luck and prosperity come naturally to me." Over time, she noticed a shift. Opportunities seemed to come her way, and her financial situation improved. So, how does a simple repetition of words create such a powerful change? The brain, wondrous and adaptable, operates based on patterns and habits. When a belief, thought, or emotion is reinforced repeatedly, it strengthens neural pathways associated with that thought. Positive affirmations, when used correctly, can serve as a tool to establish new, favorable neural pathways, essentially rewiring the brain for success, happiness, and positivity. However, for affirmations to work, a few key principles need to be followed. 1. Specificity. Affirmations should be clear and precise. Instead of saying, "I want to be happy," one might say, "I find joy in the small moments of every day." 2. Present tense. To make affirmations effective, they should be stated as if they are already true. "I am becoming more confident each day" is more effective than "I will become more confident." 2. Repetition. For any new habit or belief to take root, repetition is key. The same goes for affirmations. They need to be repeated often, ideally at specific times of the day, like waking up or before sleeping. 4. Emotion. Simply saying the words is not enough. Feeling the emotion behind them, truly believing them, is what gives them power. 5. Positive wording. Affirmations should be framed positively. Instead of, "I am not afraid," a more powerful affirmation would be, "I am courageous." To further understand the potential of affirmations, look at Max, a young athlete. Despite his talent, he often faltered in crucial moments due to nerves. Then he started using the affirmation, "I am calm and focused under pressure." He repeated it daily, visualizing himself succeeding, and felt the emotions tied to the words. Over time, his performance in high-stakes moments improved dramatically. The realm of positive affirmations extends beyond personal achievements. They can be used to improve relationships. I communicate with love and understanding. Health. My body is strong and healing. And even skills. I am constantly improving and mastering my craft. But, as with any tool, affirmations aren't magic. They require commitment. Saying an affirmation for a day or two and then abandoning it won't bring desired results. However, when paired with action and true belief, they become a formidable force, guiding the subconscious mind towards a desired reality. Positive affirmations offer a bridge between the current self and the desired self, between existing reality and a dreamt reality. They are seeds. When planted in the fertile ground of the subconscious, nurtured with belief, and watered with repetition, They can grow into mighty trees, reshaping landscapes and creating new horizons. Chapter 9. Cognitive Behavioral Techniques. It's not uncommon for negative thoughts to become constant companions, casting shadows over goals and aspirations. But what if there was a way to confront these negative thoughts, challenge them, and replace them with empowering beliefs? Enter Cognitive Behavioral Techniques, a set of tools designed to reshape the thought processes. At its core, Cognitive Behavioral Techniques, often shortened to CBT, is about recognizing patterns of negative thinking and then systematically challenging and replacing them. These techniques are rooted in the understanding that thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected. A negative thought can trigger negative feelings, which in turn can lead to counterproductive behavior. To illustrate, consider the case of Alex. Alex struggled with public speaking. The mere thought of addressing a group would spiral him into a whirlwind of negative self-talk. I'll mess up. People will laugh. Or I'm not good enough. These thoughts led to feelings of anxiety, and consequently he would either avoid public speaking engagements or fumble through them, further reinforcing his beliefs and his own inadequacy. The starting point of CBT is awareness. Before any change can occur, one must become aware of the negative thought patterns. In Alex's case, recognizing that he was trapped in a loop of negative self-talk was the first step. Once these patterns are identified, the next step is challenging these beliefs. This involves questioning the basis of such thoughts. Is there any evidence to support the thought? Are there alternative explanations or perspectives? For Alex, when he critically examined his beliefs, he realized that he had successfully spoken in front of groups in the past, and not everyone was waiting for him to make a mistake. This realization weakened the hold of his negative beliefs. The final step is reframing. This means replacing the identified negative thought with a more positive or neutral one. Instead of, I'll mess up, Alex started telling himself, I am prepared and will do my best. Over time, this new thought pattern began to replace the old, leading to increased confidence and decreased anxiety. CBT is not just about thoughts. It also encompasses behaviors. Often negative thought patterns lead to avoidance behaviors. By confronting and changing the behaviors, it's possible to further solidify the new positive thought patterns. For Alex, this meant actively seeking out opportunities to speak in public, each time reinforcing his new belief in his abilities. Let's look at another example. Maya always believed she was bad at math. Every time she encountered a challenging problem, her immediate thought was, I can't do this. This thought led to feelings of frustration, and she would often give up without trying. After learning about CBT, Maya started to challenge this belief. She asked herself, have I always been bad at math? The answer was no. She had faced and overcome math challenges in the past. She started reframing her thought to, this is tough, but I can figure it out with some effort. Gradually, her attitude towards math changed, and she started tackling problems with determination rather than despair. It's important to note that CBT is not about denying or suppressing challenges. It's about viewing them in a balanced way, free from the distortions of negative thought patterns. It's also a skill that improves with practice. Over time, the process of identifying, challenging, and reframing becomes more automatic, leading to a more positive and resilient mindset. Cognitive behavioral techniques offer a roadmap out of the maze of negative thinking. By confronting and reshaping unhelpful beliefs, it becomes possible to chart a course towards growth, success, and fulfillment. The mind, once an opponent, becomes an ally, supporting and propelling towards greatness. Chapter 10. Memory Palaces. Building Intellectual Fortresses. Memory is an astonishing tool. pivotal not just for recalling past experiences, but also for learning and honing skills. But as powerful as it is, memory can sometimes seem elusive. Everyone has felt that frustration when a particular fact or name hovers just out of reach. However, there is a technique with roots reaching back to ancient times that can transform the way one remembers. The memory palace. The concept of the memory palace, also known as the method of loci, hinges on the human brain's incredible ability to remember places and spatial details. It involves creating a mental construct of a familiar location and using it to store information in a structured way. Imagine a childhood home. Most people can easily navigate their way through it in their minds, recalling each room, the furniture, and other specific details. A memory palace taps into this innate spatial memory, turning each room or location into a storage bin for other information. For instance, consider the task of remembering a list of random items: a pineapple, a bicycle, a book, and a telescope. Using the memory palace technique, one would associate each item with a specific location within the chosen familiar setting. The front door could have a pineapple wreath. The living room might be occupied by someone riding a bike. The kitchen table could be stacked with books, and a telescope might be peering out of a bedroom window. When trying to recall the list, walking mentally through the house and observing each scene would bring back the items in vivid detail. Historically, this technique was invaluable. In ancient times, when paper was a luxury and oral presentations were paramount, scholars and orators used memory palaces to remember vast amounts of information. One famous tale is of the Greek poet Simonides, who managed to recall the names of all the guests at a banquet he attended after the roof collapsed, simply because he remembered where each person had been seated. However, the memory palace isn't just a relic of the past. It has practical applications today. Students can use it to remember dates for history exams or steps in complex equations. Professionals can employ the method to recall points in a presentation or details for an important meeting. Another modern adaptation can be seen in competitive memory championships. Participants often have to remember decks of cards or long strings of numbers. Some of the best competitors utilize memory palaces, turning each card or number into a vivid image and placing it into a mental location. This process not only aids recall but also makes the act of memorizing more engaging and enjoyable. A real-life example showcasing the effectiveness of this method involves a journalist who decided to delve into the world of competitive memorization. With no prior experience, but with the help of memory palaces and other mnemonic devices, he went from being a novice to winning the U.S. Memory Championship in a short span. The creation of a memory palace is a personalized endeavor. Each individual's palace is modeled by their experiences, making it unique. It's a dynamic tool, expanding as needed. New rooms or locations can be added as one becomes more comfortable and wants to remember more information. Moreover, the vividness is key. The brain tends to remember unique, funny, or bizarre images better than mundane ones. So the more creative the associations within the memory palace, the stronger the recall. The memory palace is a testament to the enduring power of ancient wisdom. It's a bridge between the past and the present, proving that some tools, no matter how old, remain relevant. By building and utilizing these intellectual fortresses, anyone can unlock a new level of brilliance, turning the sometimes elusive streams of memory into concrete, navigatable pathways. Chapter 11. Harnessing Flow States. Everyone has experienced those magical moments when time seems to vanish. Hours feel like minutes, and the mind and body work together seamlessly. Everything falls into place, whether it's writing a piece of music, playing a sport, or even solving a complex problem. This is a flow state, commonly known as being in the zone. It's a place where productivity and creativity skyrocket. A flow state is a mental state in which a person is fully immersed in an activity, leading to a heightened sense of focus and involvement. It's a fusion of action and awareness where distractions fade away, self-consciousness diminishes, and performance peaks. The concept of flow isn't new. It has been described in various cultures for centuries. However, the term flow was coined in the 1970s by a psychologist named Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. After extensive research, he concluded that people are happiest when they are in a state of flow. This state, he found, is characterized by several elements: clear goals, immediate feedback, a balance between skill and challenge, and a merging of action and awareness. To illustrate, think about a musician playing a challenging piece. They know the goal: to play the piece correctly, get immediate feedback, the music they produce, and find a balance between their skill and the challenge of the piece. As they play, their actions and awareness merge. They lose themselves in the music. This is flow. Another example is an athlete during a big game. The goal is clear, the feedback is the performance, and there's a balance between their training and the game's challenge. They might later describe the game as a blur or feel as though they were just going through the motions, despite playing exceptionally. Again, this is flow. So how does one achieve this coveted state? There are certain conditions and practices that can make entering a flow state more likely. 1. Challenge, skill balance. This is perhaps the most important condition for flow. The task at hand should be neither too easy nor too hard. If it's too easy, boredom sets in. If it's too hard, anxiety takes over. The sweet spot is where the task provides just the right amount of challenge for the individual skill level. 2. Clear goals. Having clear goals for the task helps to provide direction and purpose. Knowing what is expected and what one is trying to achieve can help keep the focus sharp. 3. Eliminate distractions. A cluttered or distracting environment can make it hard to focus. It can be beneficial to set up a space specifically for working or practicing, free from unnecessary distractions. 4. Immediate feedback. Knowing how well one is doing in real time can help to adjust and refine actions. This feedback loop is crucial for maintaining the flow state. 5. Deep concentration. Before entering a flow state, it often requires a period of deep concentration. This might mean dedicating a specific amount of uninterrupted time to the task. 6. Control. Feeling in control over the task can encourage a flow state. This doesn't mean everything will be predictable, but rather that one feels equipped to handle the challenges that arise. By understanding and cultivating these conditions, it becomes more possible to harness flow states, maximizing both productivity and creativity. It's like unlocking a superpower, where the mind and body operate at peak performance. And while it may seem elusive, with practice and intention, achieving flow can become a more common part of one's life. Whether an artist, an athlete, or someone just looking to make the most out of their workday, tapping into this zone can lead to extraordinary results. Chapter 12. Biohacking Your Brain. In the age of innovation, where technology and biology intersect, there's a growing movement known as biohacking. Biohacking at its core is the practice of changing one's biology and physical environment to optimize health, well-being, and performance. When it comes to the brain, biohacking focuses on improving cognitive functions such as memory, attention, and creativity. With the brain being the command center of the body, it's crucial to keep it in optimal condition. Just as one might tune a musical instrument for the best sound, biohacking allows for the fine-tuning of the brain to achieve peak performance. However, while the concept might sound futuristic, many of these techniques are grounded in ancient practices or basic science. Here are some safe, science-backed techniques to biohack the brain. 1. Dietary changes. Nutrition plays a significant role in brain health. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and certain vitamins and minerals have been shown to support cognitive functions. For instance, fatty fish like salmon and walnuts are good sources of omega-3s, which support brain cell communication. 2. Intermittent fasting. This involves cycling between periods of eating and fasting. Studies have shown that intermittent fasting can promote brain health by reducing oxidative states, inflammation, and promoting the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that supports brain function. 3. Brain training games. While the brain isn't a muscle, it can still benefit from a good workout. Certain games and puzzles like Sudoku or chess challenge the brain and help improve various cognitive functions. 4. Mindfulness and meditation. Regular meditation not only reduces stress but can also increase gray matter in the brain, which is involved in muscle control, sensory perception, and decision-making. 5. Aerobic exercise. Physical activity, especially aerobic exercise, has profound benefits for the brain. It can increase the size of the hippocampus, the part of the brain involved in memory and learning. Consider the story of an elderly community that took up synchronized swimming. Over time, many participants reported sharper memory and quicker reasoning abilities. 6. Sleep optimization. Sleep isn't just a time for rest. It's also when the brain processes information from the day, forms memories, and repairs itself. Ensuring a regular sleep schedule and creating a conducive sleep environment can do wonders for cognitive functions. 7. Limiting blue light exposure. Modern life is filled with screens, from smartphones to computers. The blue light emitted from these devices can interfere with the production of melatonin, a hormone responsible for sleep. Reducing screen time before bed or using blue light filters can help ensure a good night's sleep, benefiting brain health. 8. Nootropics. These are natural or synthetic compounds that may enhance cognitive functions. Some common natural nootropics include caffeine and L-theanine, often found in tea. However, it's essential to approach nootropics with caution and always consult a healthcare professional before starting any new supplement. 9. Environmental adjustments. The surroundings play a significant role in how the brain functions. A clutter-free, well-lit environment with minimal distractions can enhance focus and productivity. 10. Learning new skills. Picking up a new hobby or skill, like a musical instrument or a new language, challenges the brain and keeps it active, which can lead to increased neural connections. In conclusion, biohacking the brain involves a combination of modern science, ancient practices, and sometimes just common sense. Whether it's tweaking one's diet, incorporating meditation, or simply ensuring a good night's sleep, there are numerous ways to optimize the brain's function. As with all things, it's essential to listen to one's body, be patient, and take a balanced approach to achieve the best results. Chapter 13. Leveraging the Pareto Principle. In the world of efficiency and effectiveness, the Pareto Principle stands tall as a beacon of wisdom. Originating from an observation by an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto, this principle suggests that roughly 80% of effects or results come from just 20% of causes or actions. Let's think about a garden. Imagine a vast garden filled with a variety of plants. Now suppose only a small portion, say 20% of those plants, produce 80% of the garden's total flowers and fruits. This garden serves as a metaphor for many situations in life where a minority of causes are responsible for a majority of effects. Consider a business setting. In many businesses, it is often found that 20% of the customers account for 80% of the total revenue. Similarly, in personal life, it might be noticed that 20% of tasks or efforts lead to 80% of the accomplishments or satisfaction. Understanding and applying the Pareto principle can have profound impacts on productivity and success. Here's how it can be leveraged. 1. Identify the critical 20%. Begin by listing tasks, goals, or activities. Then determine which ones yield the highest value or results. By concentrating efforts on these critical tasks, the output can be significantly enhanced. 2. Eliminate or delegate the less productive 80%. Once the crucial 20% is identified, assess the remaining tasks. Some of these may not be essential and can be eliminated, while others can be delegated or outsourced. For instance, a restaurant owner might find that 20% of the dishes on the menu account for 80% of the sales. Instead of spreading resources thin, the owner could focus on perfecting those few dishes and possibly simplify the menu. 3. Prioritize tasks. With a clear understanding of what tasks or actions are most valuable, prioritize them. Make sure they get the foremost attention and resources. Imagine a student studying for an exam. If 20% of the topics are likely to cover 80% of the questions, the student should ensure those topics are well understood first. 4. Reevaluate regularly. The crucial 20% might change over time. Therefore, it's beneficial to reevaluate tasks and goals periodically to ensure alignment with the Pareto principle. 5. Apply the principle in multiple areas. The beauty of the Pareto principle is that it can be applied almost anywhere, from time management in business to personal relationships and health. Consider health and fitness. It might be found that 20% of the workout routines lead to 80% of the desired fitness results. Knowing this, one could focus more on those particular routines to achieve better outcomes. 6. Avoid the trap of perfectionism. Recognizing that a vast majority of results can come from a minority of efforts can free one from the trap of perfectionism. Instead of trying to do everything perfectly, it's about doing the right things excellently. 7. Boost decision-making. When faced with a plethora of choices, the Pareto principle can assist in decision-making. By asking which options will yield the highest results, one can make more informed and efficient decisions. The Pareto principle is more than just a theory or concept. It's a guide to streamlined efficiency and maximized results. By understanding that not all efforts are created equal and that a minority can lead to a majority of results, individuals can harness this principle to achieve more with less. In a world filled with endless tasks and distractions, leveraging the Pareto principle can be the key to achieving greatness in any endeavor. Chapter 14. Embracing constructive discomfort. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast and deep pool. At one side, where the water is shallow, one feels secure, feet touching the ground and head well above the water. This is familiar, comfortable, and predictable. But on the other side, where the water runs deep, there is a sense of unease. There's a challenge, a risk, and an unknown depth. It's a side that promises growth but demands courage. This pool symbolizes life. The shallow side represents the comfort zone, a space that feels warm, familiar, and safe. The deep end? It signifies constructive discomfort, where growth, learning, and evolution reside. Understanding the comfort zone. It's a natural human instinct to seek comfort. It is where routines reside and predictability reigns supreme. But too much time in this zone can lead to stagnation. The growth curve starts to flatten, and the brilliance that once shone bright begins to dim. After all, trees don't grow in comfortable ground. They reach their towering height by wrestling with the winds and weathering storms. The magic of constructive discomfort. Stepping out of the comfort zone and embracing constructive discomfort can lead to profound personal and professional growth. It is in this space that creativity sparks, resilience strengthens, and skills sharpen. Consider a young child learning to ride a bicycle. The initial wobbles, the fear of falling, and the hesitations are all part of the discomfort. But with each push of the pedal and each small distance covered without support, the child grows stronger, more confident, and eventually masters the art of cycling. Similarly, when an individual decides to learn a new language, the first steps can be daunting. The unfamiliar sounds, the complex grammar rules, and the challenge of holding a conversation can all seem overwhelming. But with time, patience, and perseverance, the once foreign language becomes a fluent form of expression. Navigating the landscape of discomfort. 1. Start small. One doesn't need to dive deep into the pool right away. Start by dipping a toe, then a foot, and gradually wade into deeper waters. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, trying a different type of food, or speaking in public for the first time, every step counts. 2. Shift perspective. Instead of viewing discomfort as a daunting challenge, see it as an opportunity. An opportunity to grow, to learn, and to strengthen. 3. Seek support. Venturing into the unknown can be less intimidating with a support system. Whether it's friends, family, or colleagues, having someone to share experiences, seek advice, or simply offer words of encouragement can make all the difference. 4. Celebrate small wins. Every milestone, no matter how minor it may seem, is a testament to progress. Celebrating these wins fuels motivation and propels one further into the journey of constructive discomfort. 5. Remember the why. Whenever doubt creeps in or challenges seem too overwhelming, remember oneself of the why. Why did one choose to step out of the comfort zone? Why is this journey important? The why is a powerful anchor that can ground and guide throughout the roughest of seas. 6. Stay adaptive. The landscape of discomfort is ever-changing. What seems challenging today might become second nature tomorrow. The key is to stay adaptive, flexible, and open to change. Constructive discomfort as a catalyst. Embracing constructive discomfort is not about seeking discomfort for one's own sake. It's about recognizing that discomfort, when approached with the right mindset and tools, can be a powerful catalyst for growth. It can push boundaries, shatter limits, and propel to unparalleled greatness. In the narrative of life, comfort might be the introduction, but constructive discomfort is where the plot thickens, characters develop, and the story takes memorable turns. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it as a stepping stone to reach the pinnacles of personal and professional success. Chapter 15. Taming the Technological Beast. From smartphones to laptops and tablets, technological wonders have changed the way work is done, relationships are built, and entertainment is consumed. But with all its advantages, if left unchecked, the beast can easily lead to distraction, reduce productivity, and steal precious moments of life. The double-edged sword of technology. Technology is like a coin with two sides. On one side, it offers a world of information at fingertips, simplifies complex tasks, and keeps everyone connected. However, the other side can lead to endless scrolling, hours wasted on irrelevant content, and a continuous state of distraction. For example, consider the smartphone. It's a tool that can help navigate to a new place, video call loved ones miles away, and even order food at the touch of a button. Yet the same device can lead to hours lost in social media, a constant barrage of notifications, and a reluctance to disconnect. Strategies for manipulation, not distraction. The goal is not to eliminate technology, but to tame it, to make it serve specific purposes rather than allowing it to be the master. 1. Set clear boundaries. Determine specific times for checking emails, social media, and other apps. By restricting these activities to set intervals, it becomes easier to focus on tasks without constant interruption. For instance, someone might decide to only check their social media accounts for 20 minutes after lunch rather than sporadically throughout the day. 2. Use technology to block technology. There are apps designed to help reduce screen time or block distracting sites. By setting up these apps, the temptation to wander off into the digital realm can be curtailed. For example, an app might block access to certain websites during work hours, ensuring concentration is maintained. 3. Notifications. The silent intruder. Each time a device pings, attention is diverted. It's beneficial to turn off non-essential notifications. By only allowing critical alerts, it reduces the constant pull to look at the screen. 4. Physical boundaries. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. If working on a project that requires deep concentration, placing the phone in another room can work wonders. Out of sight often means out of mind. 5. Designated tech-free times. Just as there are set times for using technology, there should also be moments when screens are intentionally put away. This could be during meals, the first hour after waking, or the last hour before bed. 6. Mindful consumption. Before opening an app or a website, take a moment to ask, is this necessary? What's the purpose? By being intentional with technological use, it prevents aimless wandering into the digital world. 7. Quality over quantity. Instead of trying to be present on every social media platform or downloading every trending app, choose a select few that truly add value. It's better to deeply engage with a few platforms than to spread oneself too thin across many. From beast to ally. By implementing these strategies, the relationship with technology shifts. It transforms from a beast that constantly demands attention to a valuable ally that enhances life. Imagine a student preparing for a big test. Instead of being distracted by every notification, they've set their device to Do Not Disturb. The only app they have open is the one that plays calming instrumental music, helping them focus. This student has successfully tamed their technology beast, making it a powerful tool for their success. The technology beast isn't going away. Its presence is ever growing, with new devices and platforms emerging regularly. But by setting clear boundaries, being intentional, and using technology mindfully, it can be tamed. The aim is to ride this beast, guiding it in beneficial directions, rather than being trampled by its relentless march. Chapter 16. The Gratitude Advantage. In a world that often highlights what is lacking, there exists a simple yet transformative practice: gratitude. At its core, gratitude is the acknowledgement and appreciation of the positive aspects of life. Whether for the air one breathes or for the kindness received from a friend, gratitude offers a lens through which the world can be seen in a new light. Understanding gratitude. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you. It's a deeper recognition of the good, both big and small, that permeates everyday life. By focusing on positive elements, a shift occurs in how one perceives and reacts to the world. For example, consider two people stuck in traffic. One focuses on the lost time, the inconvenience, and the frustration. They feel stressed and anxious. The other person sees the pause as an opportunity. They are grateful for the extra time to listen to music, reflect, or simply breathe. The situation is the same. but the perspectives are entirely different. The latter individual has tapped into the power of gratitude. Gratitude and the brain. Recent studies have shown that gratitude can literally change the brain. When someone regularly practices gratitude, there are increased levels of activity in the hypothalamus, a vital part of the brain responsible for several crucial tasks including stress levels and sleep. This increased activity can lead to better sleep, reduced stress, and even a stronger immune system. Furthermore, focusing on positive events and being thankful can increase the productivity of dopamine, a neurotransmitter that rewards the brain with feelings of pleasure. It's like giving the brain a feel-good treat every time gratitude is practiced. The domino effect of gratitude. When gratitude is practiced regularly, it begins a chain reaction of positivity. Here's how it works. 1. Improved mental health. By recognizing and appreciating the good, negative emotions and thoughts are pushed aside, leading to reduced feelings of envy, resentment, and frustration. 2. Better physical health. Those who practice gratitude report feeling healthier, experiencing less pain, and even living longer. This is likely due to the reduced stress and increased positivity that gratitude brings. 3. Enhanced empathy. Instead of feeling resentment towards others, grateful individuals tend to be more understanding and compassionate. 4. Boost in self-esteem. Recognizing one's own blessings can lead to a greater appreciation of oneself and one's achievements. Practicing gratitude. Cultivating gratitude is not a complex process. It can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to reflect on the positives. Here are some ways to integrate gratitude into daily life. 1. Gratitude journal. Every night, jot down 3 things to be grateful for from the day. Over time, this practice can create a positive feedback loop, training the brain to seek out and focus on positive aspects. 2. Gratitude jar. Place a jar in a common area. Whenever feeling grateful for something, write it down and place the note in the jar. Over time, the jar fills with countless moments of gratitude. 3. Verbal expression. Take the time to express gratitude to others. Whether it's for a small favor or just for being there, letting someone know they are appreciated can be powerful for both the giver and the receiver. The story of Anna. To illustrate the transformative power of gratitude, consider Anna. She faced challenges at work, health concerns, and the general stresses of daily life. Initially, these challenges consumed her, leading to anxiety and sadness. However, after being introduced to the idea of a gratitude journal, she decided to give it a try. Each night, Anna wrote down 3 things she was grateful for. Some days it was as simple as a warm bed or a call from a friend. Over time, Anna began to notice a shift. She felt lighter, more positive, and even began to face challenges with a newfound resilience. Anna's perspective on life changed, not because her circumstances did, but because her focus did. She had discovered the gratitude advantage. In conclusion, while challenges and hardships are a part of life, the lens through which they are viewed can make all the difference. Gratitude provides a powerful lens, one that focuses on the positive, promotes mental and physical well-being, and can transform the everyday into extraordinary. Embracing gratitude is not just about seeing the glass as half full, it's about being thankful that there's a glass at all. Chapter 17. Nurturing a Growth Mindset. A mindset, in its most basic form, is a set of beliefs or attitudes about fundamental aspects of the world. People carry various mindsets about love, success, challenges, and most importantly, about themselves. The growth mindset centers on the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort, practice, and persistence. In stark contrast, a fixed mindset assumes that these traits are innate and unchangeable. Understanding the fixed versus growth mindset. Imagine two students preparing for an exam. The first student with a fixed mindset thinks, "I'm not good at this subject. I've never been, and I never will be." The second student with a growth mindset thinks, "This is tough, but with enough study and practice, I can master it." The difference in their approach is clear. The student with a fixed mindset feels defeated before even beginning, believing abilities are set in stone. In contrast, the student with a growth mindset sees potential and understands that effort plays a critical role in mastering any skill or subject. The power of yet. One of the most significant insights from the research on growth mindset is the power of the word yet. When faced with a challenge or setback, adding yet transforms the perspective. "I can't do this" becomes "I can't do this yet." This simple word opens up a world of possibilities and underscores the understanding that with time and effort, growth can occur. Benefits of a growth mindset. Adopting a growth mindset has a ripple effect on various aspects of life. 1. Embrace challenges. Instead of avoiding challenges, they become exciting opportunities for growth. Each challenge is a stepping stone to a higher level of understanding or skill. 2. Persistence in the face of setbacks. Failures are not seen as defining moments, but as feedback. They become learning opportunities, guiding what needs to be done differently next time. 3. Effort as a path to mastery. The process becomes as important, if not more so, than the end result. The journey, with all its ups and downs, is where true learning and growth happen. 4. Learn from criticism. Instead of becoming defensive or disheartened by feedback, it's viewed as valuable information that can help improve and grow. 5. Find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. Instead of feeling threatened by others' success, it's used as motivation. The accomplishment of peers become a source of inspiration and learning. Cultivating a growth mindset. Changing one's mindset isn't an overnight task. It's a journey. However, with conscious effort, it's possible to shift from a fixed to a growth mindset. 1. Awareness. Recognizing and acknowledging existing beliefs is the first step. By being aware of fixed mindset thoughts when they arise, one can challenge and reframe them. 2. Value the process. Focus on the learning process, not just the outcome. Celebrate small victories and progress, even if the end goal isn't reached immediately. 3. Reframe challenges. See challenges as opportunities. Each obstacle is a chance to grow and learn something new. 4. Use failure as a teacher. Instead of being disheartened by setbacks, analyze them. What can be learned? How can this guide future efforts? 5. Seek feedback. Regularly seek feedback and use it constructively. It's an invaluable tool for growth. Story of Marcus. To truly understand the transformative power of the growth mindset, consider the story of Marcus. Growing up, Marcus struggled with reading. He often thought, "I'm just not a reader. It's not in my genes." This belief held him back for years. However, in high school, a teacher introduced him to the concept of the growth mindset. With this new perspective, Marcus started to believe that maybe he could improve. He began to put in extra hours, sought help, and slowly, with a lot of effort, his reading skills improved. By the time he graduated, not only had he caught up with his peers, but he also developed a deep love for literature. Marcus's transformation wasn't due to some hidden talent suddenly emerging. It was the result of his shift in mindset. He believed he could grow, and that belief made all the difference. Nurturing a growth mindset is more than just a psychological exercise. It's a profound shift in how one approaches challenges, setbacks, and life in general. By understanding that abilities and intelligence are malleable, that they can be honed and developed, one opens up a world of possibilities. The journey of growth might be fraught with challenges, But with the right mindset, those challenges become the very stepping stones to greatness. Chapter 18. Mind Mapping. Organizing Thoughts for Clarity. Our thoughts often race around in chaotic patterns. Ideas sprout, memories resurface, and imaginations run wild. This unorganized thought process can be beautiful in its spontaneity, but for clear thinking and effective planning, a more structured approach is beneficial. This is where the technique of mind mapping enters. At its core, a mind map is a visual representation of information radiating outwards from a central idea. Think of it as the roots and branches of a tree, where the main concept is the trunk, and the associated ideas are the branches. This technique provides an intuitive way to organize and structure information, making it easier to understand, remember, and act upon. The basics of mind mapping. A mind map typically starts with a central idea or topic placed in the center of a page. From this central idea, main themes or subtopics radiate outwards. These themes then branch out further into smaller, more specific ideas or facts. The power of mind mapping lies in its simplicity. By presenting information in a visual and interconnected manner, the brain can process, understand, and recall it more effectively. Benefits of mind mapping. 1. Clarity. By laying out thoughts visually, one can see connections and relationships more clearly. This clarity can be instrumental in problem solving, planning, and brainstorming sessions. 2. Memory boost. The human brain is naturally inclined towards visuals. By converting linear notes into colorful and interconnected diagrams, it's easier to recall information. 3. Enhanced creativity. The non-linear nature of mind maps encourages free association, leading to more creative thinking and idea generation. 4. Time saving. Organizing information in a streamlined manner allows for quicker review and understanding. 5. Flexibility. Mind maps can be easily adjusted, making them perfect for evolving projects and ideas. Creating an effective mind map. Crafting a successful mind map involves more than just drawing lines and writing words. Here are some guiding principles. 1. Start in the center. Begin with the main idea or topic in the middle. This gives the brain freedom to spread out in all directions. 2. Use colors. Different colors can represent different topics or show relationships. They may also make the map more engaging and easier to remember. 3. Embrace images. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Wherever possible, use symbols, icons, or drawings to represent ideas. 4. Limit word count. For each branch or idea, use single words or short phrases. This keeps the mind map clear and easy to follow. 5. Connect ideas. Show relationships between different branches or nodes. This interconnectedness is what gives a mind map its power. 6. Keep it flowing. Allow thoughts to evolve naturally. If a new main idea emerges, don't hesitate to branch off in a new direction. Story of Elena. To illustrate the practical application and benefits of mind mapping, consider the story of Elena. Elena had a passion for baking and dreamed of opening her own bakery. But every time she sat down to plan, she felt overwhelmed by the vastness of the task. From finances to recipes, from location scouting to marketing, there were a plethora of things to consider. One day, Elena was introduced to the concept of mind mapping. She decided to give it a try. In the center of a large piece of paper, she wrote, "My Bakery." From there, she began to branch out. One large branch was titled Finances, which further branched out into initial investment, monthly expenses, pricing, and so forth. Another major branch was Menu, which branched into cakes, pastries, breads, and more. As Elena's mind map grew, so did her clarity. What once seemed like an insurmountable task now appeared more manageable. She could see connections, prioritize tasks, and formulate a clearer plan of action. Within a year, with her mind map as her guide, Elena successfully opened her bakery. The visual clarity provided by the mind map had transformed her dream into reality. Mind mapping is an invaluable tool for organizing thoughts, boosting memory, and enhancing creativity. In a world overflowing with information, the ability to sift through the noise, find connections, and focus on what truly matters is essential. Whether for personal projects, academic studies, or professional plans, mind mapping offers a pathway to clarity and success. Chapter 19. Social Connection. The Neurological Boost. From the dawn of human history, individuals have thrived in the company of others. There's a unique magic in the shared laughter with friends, the comforting embrace of a loved one, or the simple act of conversing with another person. It's more than just emotional well-being. Strong social ties directly influence mental health. This chapter delves into the science and stories behind the neurological benefits of social connection. Human beings by nature are social creatures. Across different cultures and eras, the value of community, family, and friendship have been recognized and celebrated. However, it's not just about tradition or sentimentality. There's a wealth of evidence pointing to the tangible neurological benefits of having strong social ties. The neurological impacts of social connections. 1. Release of positive hormones. When humans connect with others, the brain releases oxytocin, sometimes referred to as the love hormone or bonding hormone. This hormone plays a vital role in building trust and forming emotional bonds. Additionally, engaging in positive social interactions can lead to the release of endorphins, the body's natural painkillers, which promote feelings of pleasure and reduce stress. 2. Reduction in stress hormones. Interacting with loved ones can reduce the levels of cortisol, a hormone associated with stress. Lower stress levels are not just good for mental well-being, but also have numerous health benefits, including improved immune function. 3. Cognitive sharpness. Regular social interactions can keep the mind sharp and might even delay cognitive decline as people age. Engaging in conversations, debates, and other forms of social interactions requires the brain to process information, consider different viewpoints, and formulate responses, all of which contribute to cognitive health. 4. Elevated mood. Loneliness and isolation are often linked with depression. On the flip side, frequent social interactions and strong social support can elevate mood and provide a buffer against feelings of sadness or depression. Stories from the real world. Consider the story of Liam, a young man who moved to a new city for work. The excitement of the new job quickly faded as he realized that he was away from his family, friends, and familiar surroundings. The days seemed longer, and the nights were quiet and lonely. Despite his initial reluctance, he decided to join a local club where people met to discuss books and share stories. Slowly, Liam began to form new connections and friendships. With time, not only did his mood lift, but he also felt sharper, more engaged, and genuinely happier. He realized that these positive changes were largely due to the strong social ties he had begun to forge in his new city. In another instance, Maria, an elderly lady, lived alone after her children moved to different cities. She began to feel the weight of loneliness, often finding herself lost in thoughts and memories. Her neighbor, noticing this, introduced her to a community center where senior citizens met, shared stories, played games, and spent time together. The transformation in Maria was evident. She seemed more vibrant, laughed more often, and her memory also seemed sharper. Building and maintaining social connections. Given the undeniable benefits of social connections, it's essential to actively nurture them. Here are some ways to forge and maintain social ties. 1. Join clubs or groups. Whether it's a hobby club, a sports team, or a community service group, joining such collectives can provide regular social interactions and open the door to new friendships. 2. Volunteer. Volunteering not only gives an opportunity to give back to the community, but also provides a platform to meet and interact with like-minded individuals. 3. Stay in touch. In the age of technology, distance isn't a barrier. Regular calls, messages, or video chats with loved ones can keep the bond strong. 4. Attend social gatherings. Even if it might sometimes feel like a chore, attending parties, gatherings, or community events can be a good way to socialize. 5. Seek professional help if needed. If feelings of loneliness or isolation become overwhelming, it might be helpful to seek therapy or counseling. While modern life often emphasizes individual achievements and independence, it's crucial to remember the age-old wisdom. Humans thrive in the company of others. The neurological benefits of social connections are manifold, from the release of positive hormones to improved cognitive function. It's not just about feeling good. It's about being mentally healthier and more resilient. The stories of individuals like Liam and Maria underscore the transformative power of social ties. So, in the journey of life, while personal goals and dreams are vital, it's equally important to walk alongside others, sharing moments, memories, and mutual support. Chapter 20. From Manipulation to Mastery. The power of the mind is immense. When harnessed, it can shape destinies and transform ordinary moments into extraordinary achievements. However, there's a fine line between controlling and being controlled, between manipulating oneself for good or for ill intentions. This chapter delves deep into the concept of ethical self-manipulation, guiding individuals on a path towards mastery and personal greatness. Manipulation, in most contexts, carries a negative connotation. It brings to mind deceit, control, and ulterior motives. However, if done ethically and with pure intentions, manipulating oneself can be a pathway to self-improvement and goal realization. Understanding ethical self-manipulation. At its core, ethical self-manipulation is about creating habits, routines, and mindsets that help in achieving personal and professional goals. It's about understanding oneself, recognizing weaknesses, and then tweaking or manipulating thought processes and actions to transform these weaknesses into strengths. For example, consider the tale of Alex, a talented pianist. He had the skills and the passion but struggled with stage fright. Every time he thought about performing in front of an audience, his hands would sweat, his heart would race, and he'd imagine all the things that could go wrong. But Alex didn't give in. He decided to manipulate his fear. Instead of avoiding performances, he started with small shows, using visualization techniques to calm his nerves and repeated affirmations to boost his confidence. With time, Alex transformed his fear into a driving force, making him one of the most sought-after pianists in his city. The steps to mastery. 1. Self-awareness. Before manipulating any aspect of oneself, understanding and accepting current strengths and weaknesses is crucial. This step is about honest self-reflection, looking inward, and evaluating one's true self. 2. Setting clear goals. Knowing the desired outcome helps in charting out a clear path. Whether it's mastering a skill, overcoming a fear, or developing a new habit, having clear and achievable goals is essential. 3. Developing strategies. Once the goals are clear, it's time to craft strategies or steps that help in achieving them. This might involve picking up new habits, letting go of certain beliefs, or seeking external help. 4. Consistent practice. Mastery isn't achieved overnight. It's the result of consistent efforts, practice, and learning from failures. It's about manipulating oneself to stay on track, even when the path gets tough. 5. Feedback and adjustment. Regularly evaluating one's progress and being open to feedback can provide valuable insights. Based on these, making necessary adjustments ensures that the journey remains aligned with the goals. The ethics of mastery. While it's tempting to chase after every goal and dream, it's also essential to remain grounded in ethics. Manipulating oneself should never come at the cost of one's mental or physical health, nor should it lead to actions that harm or disadvantage others. Consider the story of Priya, a young athlete with dreams of making it to the national team. In her quest for excellence, she began to overtrain, neglecting her health and well-being. While she did see initial success, the continuous strain led to injuries and burnout. It was a wake-up call for Priya. She realized that while manipulating her routines to achieve her goals was essential, it was equally crucial to ensure she did so ethically, taking care of her health and well-being. In conclusion, the journey from manipulation to mastery is both exciting and challenging. It's about harnessing the power within, transforming weaknesses into strengths, and reaching for the stars. However, this path should be treaded with care, ensuring that the quest for personal greatness doesn't compromise ethics or well-being. It's not just about achieving goals. It's about doing so with integrity, grace, and respect for oneself and others. Through the tales of Alex, Priya, and countless others, it becomes evident that when manipulation is ethical and focused, mastery isn't just a possibility, it's a guarantee. Close